Magnus. And we have
Magnus.
Fundy. Welcome, Fundy, as well.
Hello.
Hi, Fundy. Fundy, we got you somebody who might help play for you. Hi, Magnus.
Hi. I think I'm gonna leave though. I'm
Magnus,
not gonna interfere with the integrity of the
You
tournament.
didn't happen to hear
Fundy.
my impression of you, did you, Magnus?
I heard everything. I just decided it was more fun to shut up.
Fundy, we know you're a little scared, so we were gonna see if maybe Magnus Carlson.
I'm
I'm
absolutely terrified. But here's the thing.
But,
Here's the thing, though. It'd be funny if I win, though, because that means either of two things. Either I have massively improved, or Ludwig just sucks today. And either of those outcomes, I'm happy with.
Okay, well, Magnus, do you have any words of advice for? Oh, he left. Okay, we lost Magnus. So Magnus came in, got tired of listening, and left. All right. Well, we're gonna.
Tactics are working great.
If I lose $5,000 and my friendship with Magnus, this is the worst day of my life.
It's okay. You'll never lose Magnus. We promise that.
Yeah, Magnus will be a fan of you no matter what. Fundy.
It must be Fundy because he scared him away. Can't trust the Netherlands when you're from Norway.
I don't think he even knows who I am.
Oh, he knows everybody.
He knows.
Fundy.
He's
he
a
knows
huge
everything.
crafter. He's a huge crafter.
Yes.
Is he? Oh, that's awesome.
He's the best in all sweepers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
Might be
right.
able to get him on the DreamSMP. Good
No,
plan.
maybe.
Once he retires from chess, he'll go into Minecraft. But you guys, so you will be playing a game today. We aren't trying to screw Ludwig out of the $5,000 or 1,000 subs. My
But
credit
we
card,
are giving him time on.
yeah, my credit card did get declined, but we will figure it out after. So I'm in that struggle bus too.
I mean, all the subs will be paid by the
Prize
end of
will
the stream.
change to 5 gifted per person. Tez is struggling.
We will be paying all the subs. So just to go over the match odds, we know that you guys played recently in chess.com winner stays, and Fundy got a little bit of a whipping, so we thought it'd be fair to give him an extra 3 minutes.
What do you mean a bit of a whipping, Andrea? That's the worst thing you can say. You're not encouraging him here.
No, I'm
It's
saying
just
that's
not.
why we have
It's
time
not really
odds.
helping out. It's not really helping out. It's not really helping me with my courage standpoint.
Okay, no time odds. You guys fight.
No.
No.
Fundy, is that what you want?
No, well, no. That's I
Okay,
see. I
that's
like
what
the
I
fact
thought.
that I have a little bit of an advantage. I like that aspect. I'm just saying, like, it's not needed, but still give it though.
Still give it. Okay, cool. So Fundy versus Ludwig. This is a rematch. The time odds have been changed only to a 3-minute. So that's a very small tweak. We think it's going to be even given what happened last round. You guys can have mics on if that's okay to talk to each other during, but if it's ever distracting, like what happened last game, feel free to mute it. We'll be commentating from this end, and you'll play 2 games. If it's a draw, you'll go to a 3+2. Good luck to both of you.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like being chess live or something.
Yeah, just
Yep.
Oh my
chess.com/live will
God.
start your games.
All right, you guys, we are back. We are going to see Fundy versus Ludwig. You can do predictions in the chat to try to win some channel points. As we mentioned, this is going to be a very close game. We even tweaked the time so that it's about 50-50 for both of them to win. They're pretty similar in strength. Ludwig has been training a lot. He's very big-brained in chess. Fundy also is, but he's been putting in a little bit less time in chess than Ludwig. Ludwig is going to be playing in the next PogChamps event, which is hosted by chess.com.
So is Fundy, actually.
Oh, is Fundy playing?
Yep.
Ooh, that's super hype. Yo, what's up,
Yeah, Ludwig's coach is in the chat, and he said he's been training a lot, question mark. I think the Magnus scare tactic worked so well that Ludwig ran from his chair. Who knows if he will ever return?
Yeah, Fundy's actually DMing with Magnus right now for the moves, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know, Fundy was a little bit worried about this match, so we wanted to rile up Ludwig a little bit. Hopefully he returns.
I like to see people supporting. Make sure you're spamming for your player. We got Fundy, we got Ludwig. They're both incredible streamers, and honestly, I really appreciate them rolling with the punches. You guys, right now you can see the Minecraft server. Thank you so much to Cosmic Guard, who built this entire thing. As the moves are played on chess.com, you can see them played live in Minecraft. It is so cool that they pulled this off. Up to 1,000 people can be in at the same time. So you can try to get in. If it's full, just try again. The link is Blockbattles, like you see up on the top, .envy, ENVY, our incredible esports team.gg. Blockbattles.envy.gg. You guys can join. It's free. It's fun. You get to check out and honestly hop on the board if you want and see the moves being relayed in real time. So yeah, you know, it is Minecraft meets chess. So thank you again so much, Cosmic Guard, for pulling this off. We're just waiting for them to get started. We are back. Ludwig has actually disappeared. Wow, Magnus actually did scare him off. Ludwig, it'll be okay.
Hello, Ludwig. Poor Fundy. Oh, you know, I mean, Fundy's last time I had a chess lesson with Fundy, I thought he was eating butter off of a knife. He had like a huge knife and he was just eating, like licking off of the knife, because apparently he didn't have any utensils. So if anything, Fundy is doing much better than how he showed up to his last chess match.
Okay,
I don't know about Ludwig. Ludwig's not here yet. I'm sure he's coming any second.
Fundy's setup is so professional. Look at that clarity. Look at that thinking pose. He's just so intense here. And we have the little foxes in the chat. Oh, I'll be right back.
Ludwig's here.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah,
Lud,
showed up.
Come on, Alex. What are you doing?
Oh, this is puzzles.
Yeah.
Ludwig is on puzzles, not
great.
chess.com/.
If you guys are ready, we'll be starting in the next few seconds.
And
Yes,
the
sir.
furry has joined
Just
us.
regarding
We
the
are
time,
already
your
started.
clocks are both going to start at 10 minutes, and we'll adjust
Supporting.
Ludwig shortly after the beginning of the game.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay, so good luck, guys.
Good luck,
Thank
Fundy.
you.
Good
luck,
this
man.
is not favoritism, okay?
He's just a little bit of an underdog. All right.
The game, we're just waiting for it to start. As soon as it does, we will see it. Okay, there we go. Lud Skywalker versus Fundy live. Ludwig is a little bit higher rated. That's why the clock is adjusted. He has 7 minutes and he starts off with E4.
All right. I like this. Last time I just asked Fundy to not push his F pawn and he didn't. So I'm very happy
All
with
the
his
memories
opening
of
choice
playing
for
you are
black.
rushing back to my head right now.
This is an opening I once tried learning, but I can't remember at all. Alapin.
We unfortunately in our lesson we only
you
got
actually
to
know
teach
it?
Fundy openings for
Oh, the
white,
Alapin?
not
Yeah.
for black.
Yeah, okay, that's terrifying. All right.
Someone played it in PogChamps. I forget who. So I had to learn it.
Ludwig is
Mm.
so
It
confident.
might have been Charlie,
you guys.
actually.
Rip moist critical.
I forget everything, though.
Okay, so Ludwig has a huge center right now. Ooh, F5
What
is
did I
not
say
what you're
about the
supposed
F
to
pawn?
play.
What did I say? I
Do
said
not
one
move
thing.
the F pawn.
I said don't push that pawn as black
Why
told
not?
him during the
Why
lesson.
not?
because it's always just gonna fall for some king weakness. There's always
Mhm.
gonna be some check in there. It's always creating a hole. You just don't want to do it, and he did it. But it's okay. He has extra time, so it'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
And it is hard to punish.
F pawn for Fundy, not for fail.
Yeah, F for Fundy.
F for Fundy. Let's go. All right. He takes interesting choice. We don't see that very often. This is you know, an Alpin variation. Yeah, it's totally fine.
No, well, the thing is, again, so now he's going to be pushed back a little bit. So his knight is probably going to have to move back. But what Ludwig would have to do to take advantage of it is actually take control of these light square weaknesses. So maybe something with bringing the knight or going for a queen check.
Luckily, if Lud does try to go for any sneaky checks, he could always retreat his bishop here. I kind of like proposing this trade. It's better than playing passive. He does not have the best pawn
Fundy
structure.
can actually save things now because if he pushes this pawn, he's not really worried. He can fianchetto his bishop. This is also good. He's holding the square. So Fundy has a weird pawn structure, but he's actually recovered.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he's developing and trying to castle, he'll be okay.
Right.
Fundy struggles a lot in the opening. He gets very stressed about it because he hasn't memorized any lines yet, while Ludwig has had more opening practice.
Right. And we did have Ludwig's grandmaster coach, Mr. Robert Hess, in the chat earlier. But Fundy has also done some training, and I know you were helping, and he's such a quick learner. I'm actually impressed with how much they've both made progress at chess. This is really solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fundy was the best runner-up out of our Minecrafters. Ludwig was also, you know, he's a little bit higher rated, but I think this is the closest matchup for our strongest players.
Yeah, absolutely. So Fundy has now developed all of his pieces. He's ready to castle at some point.
Ooh, this is very interesting. We might go into an endgame if he takes the queen with check, if you can make an arrow, very nice, and takes back the e6 pawn. And then we'll have an almost equal endgame, middle game position.
Yeah, so what Fundy will be able to do at some point is recapture this pawn. He'll have equal material, and it could be anybody's game. He's still up about 2 minutes. So Ludwig has managed to come back 1 minute on the clock, which is solid. At some point, he is going to try to equalize his time situation here.
Sorry, just going to try to share that. I see people asking for the Minecraft IP address. I will have someone share in the chat.
Yeah, guys, we're trying to get the IP address.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Andrea's doing it. Awesome. Teamwork makes the dream work, you guys. All right. Ludwig brings his knight in the center. That looks like a really good move. However, he is losing a knight because, if Fundy would have taken, he would have attacked the bishop. He could have been up a full piece, but instead...
Okay, he has to play king f7 here to defend his bishop.
Then he can take with check first.
Okay.
He's in check, Alex.
Sorry. Yeah, this is a great move.
All right, good. This is good defense. It's a little bit in White's favor, but he's keeping everything defended. The rook is defended by both his rook and his bishop. Good. He defended his bishop. And Fundy kind of, I know he was stressed about the opening. So by trading queens, I think Fundy's a little bit more comfortable. He's staying up on the clock.
Very close endgame. So the engine says 0.4, which is 0.4 of a pawn, but that's what you normally get when you start with the white side of the pieces. So
pretty close.
Very even game. Basically close to how even it would have been in the start. And now in the end game, it's important to have an active king, which Fundy has. At the same time, he also has this pawn that can't be protected by other pawns. So it's a little bit of a weakness. There's a lot of different balances going on in the game, and we'll see who takes advantage of it.
Yeah, so sorry. Oh, nice. I was going to say Ludwig has the bishop pair, which is also a slight advantage compared to the knight and the bishop. And he does the right thing. He doesn't trade his bishop for the knight, but he keeps his bishop and tries to attack a pawn as well. Both players are playing very well in the middle game here.
No, this is why we love having them here. They're both really good at chess. They've been playing chess for less than a year. Actually, no, Ludwig's been playing for a little bit over a year, but they've both gotten very good quickly, which is what I like about this event. You know, chess is fun at most levels as long as you have friends who are somewhat competitive.
Chess is fun, we say, as it destroyed the confidence of every participant.
They're both quiet. They're like, I'm struggling.
Yeah, I forgot. This is an open mic match, but they haven't said a word to each other. Very different from what we saw in the first game where Sapnap's making baby noises and Punz is falling for tricks where he's looking behind him.
Hey, it's okay. It's everybody's playing their own style. We wanted to make this event flexible and let people play whatever format they want to do. Honestly, we're just really grateful that creators are even down to come and play chess. We know it's hard to play in front of a big audience, but of course, Fundy and Ludwig are both pros. And look just how close this game is.
Yeah, I mean, I know Ludwig is trying to play a little bit faster to catch up on the clock, which he's got up about 30 seconds. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
wow, Fundy is playing quick. He calculated the pin. So he's very close.
Yeah, so he should bring his king in. This is great. So you guys, the king is a very important piece. In the opening, you want to keep your king safe. There's too many pieces. But in the end game, there's not as many pieces to threaten the king. So you want to get him closer to the center, being as active as possible. He also has a bishop versus a knight. And this is important because bishops can travel across the board much faster than knights can. So usually you have a little bit of an advantage. And now Fundy has all of these pawns that are weak because they are single pawns that cannot be protected by other pawns because they would have to be on a diagonal to each other. So he wants to put a weakness on that. Let's see how Ludwig plays the endgame.
Yeah, I would say I'd like to see Fundy play a little bit slower because he has less experience playing in the endgame positions and he didn't really use his time mods yet. So he's finally taking his time to think here how to defend his pawns.
And I do see people in chat with a ton of energy. We really appreciate everybody who's out here watching today. Okay, so
you good there?
Sorry, I keep hiccuping, bro.
You want my hiccup straw?
Yes. No, I don't. Dude.
I have
so
a straw that I will pull it out if you want it. I'll get it for you.
Yo, Andrea has a straw.
Do you want it?
That fights against
Do you want
hiccups,
it?
and I always tell her, dude, when are you ever gonna have hiccups?
Do you want it?
And pull out the straw.
Do you want the hiccup straw or
Nobody
not?
uses a hiccup straw.
Can I grab it?
Sure.
Okay, give me a second.
All right, guys. All right. In case I hiccup, we're gonna have the hiccup straw. Okay, so Fundy is checking Ludwig here, but Ludwig is better off because he can capture any of these two pawns. But what I really love about what Fundy did here is the fact that he is threatening this pawn. He's keeping this super interesting. Ludwig needs to decide which pawn he wants to take here. So he can take the G pawn or he can take, I mean, they're both G pawns. He can take the pawn on the 7th rank or the one on the 5th rank. The only thing is he'll probably be able to win them both because he can put his king back and then there's no way to protect this pawn on G7. So that would be a really good move by Ludwig here. You can see the computer is evaluating the position at 0.9, which is almost the value of a pawn. So what the computer is saying here is that Ludwig can win a pawn. And on top of that, if he gets rid of the pawn on the G file, then he has this big passer. He has this pass pawn that if you get rid of this one, it's going to be really hard to stop him from getting a queen. But Fundy is doing his best. He's putting so much pressure.
Kind of dirty. There's some brown stuff on it, but that's fine. Okay, I don't really remember how it works.
Bro, I'm not drinking out of a brown straw.
If you put this in your water, I don't remember the instructions. I believe you just slowly drink through it. It'll cure your hiccups. Just do it. Try it. Here, take this. Just do it.
What's the brown stuff?
Just drink. Just drink through the hiccup straw. It's gonna just do it.
I don't even have hiccups anymore, bro.
Well, then it's gonna cure it anyway. Okay, slow down. Why are you drinking it? Did it work?
Dude, why is it leaking?
It's a hiccup straw. Don't ask. Okay, I cured your hiccups. Chat will see. There'll be no
They
more
were
hiccups.
already cured, bro.
You're welcome. Thank you to Dr. Mike. All right.
Okay. All right.
Keep going. So where were we?
So Ludwig playing really well. He defended the pawn. And now Fundy needs to figure out what to do. He doesn't want to lose this. He has to keep putting pressure. And he brings his king back. That is so smart because he realizes that his pawn is a big weakness. Uh-oh. He's got a passer! He's winning! All right, guys. If he pushed the pawn, Fundy
now they both have passers.
He would have won. He would have gotten his pawn to promote first.
But now,
what happened?
now the issue is that Ludwig has a pawn coming at the exact same speed. They both have queens on the board. They played so fast.
Okay, now all he has to do is trade it and then go win his pawn.
Oh my god! But
They're
even
so
after
close.
queen trade, it's like a drawing position.
It's still complicated.
But anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Okay, so Fundy needs to take the queen so that he can win the pawn. So it is very important for Fundy to take the queen here because then he's not going to be down material. There you go. Now he has to bring his king to the pawn. Fundy sees it. Fundy sees it. This is a very close match. 1, 2, 3, hear us roar, you guys.
So white is actually winning because if Fundy goes chase the pawn, Ludwig's just gonna come. That's exactly what he's doing. He's gonna take black's pawns first, and now he's winning.
I mean,
his
they
king was
can still
faster.
make mistakes. They can still make mistakes. So for example, if he takes here, then it should be a draw. So how would Ludwig have to play this? It's gonna be a draw if he plays it properly.
Oh my god! So it looks like it's gonna walk into the draw. No, I don't. Whoa.
Yeah, they're gonna promote at the same time. Okay.
Looks like the odds are
the
even.
odds are even. That's what
I
we
mean,
wanted. Well,
they could play on and try to win one of the. I mean, oh my god! If he plays King C4, he loses.
Yeah, don't.
As long as he doesn't play King C4, it's a draw. Okay,
beautiful.
Nice.
You got. If he played here, the problem was he was gonna check and lose his queen, so he has to keep his king on one of these two.
Oh my god.
One of these 3 squares. There you go. Nice job.
Well, I mean, this makes me happy that the time odds were pretty fair.
Yep.
It's gonna be a tie, I think.
I mean,
and the first words of the match
sure
were
this is a tie.
spoken until the result
I'm not
was
sure.
predestined.
They have increments.
What do you mean you're not sure?
As long as I
What do you
hug
mean
this
you're
queen,
not
it should be
sure?
fine.
Are they really gonna play on?
I like it. They're competitive.
Might be
Okay.
Okay, take the queen and draw. Come on. Come on.
We wanted close matches, you guys, and we got them. That's that's what we were going for
He
today.
doesn't take the queen.
Actually, the games today have been really fair. Punz had
Yeah.
so
I
many
could just
winning
repeat
chances.
moves like this.
Hey, I'm down for it.
All right.
Nice, nice.
Good first match
Okay.
though. Very good.
So
Yeah.
next game,
Man.
will if we get a win,
I
we'll
think you
decide if
had
we
me
get
at
another
one
draw.
point for sure.
I don't know.
Yes, he did. And we're gonna go back to
It
that
was
moment
tough.
while we wait for them to get their
Like
next
if there were things
So,
that I didn't see, I mean, I didn't see them.
Right
so.
here.
Sure.
Yep, right here. If he would have pushed the pawn, he would have only had 3
All right.
squares to promote.
So now gonna
whereas
be a
white would
break,
have
or
had
do we just rematch?
5,
I actually don't
and
know.
then
Oh,
I don't
oh
know
yeah.
how it
5
works.
and white to move. So he would have been behind 1 tempo here.
Let's
Ludwig
start the
would've
next
worked.
game here. We were just letting you guys chat a bit.
Mm.
Yeah, the
Great.
next one's gonna pop up in just a few seconds.
Yeah. I think I
Okay,
made it a
next
draw when I
game is
pushed
starting.
my pawn.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't know endgames enough.
And Ludwig
Yeah.
Ludwig had a really hard end game
Let's
here.
see.
It
You
was
were
funny,
heavily winning
I-
at points, and I had just a few spikes, and then at some point
I
it was
would have
just a massive
had
draw.
to have. Dude, endgame, I swear to God, is not chess.
Yeah, no, he would have had to take
Endgame
here,
is just
take
it's just
king here,
fucking
takes
massive
king
200
here,
IQ
and then he
brain
would have
thinking.
remoted. And then he could have
I suck
promoted.
at the
But that
middle
was
game.
really hard to
Endgame
see.
I'm okay at.
I'll let them
I'm not too
banter.
bad at
I didn't want to
endgame.
cut him off.
Yeah, I don't want to talk over them. When I had my lesson with Fundy, I said, I'm going to teach you endgames. He's like, no, I don't want to study those. I need help in the opening.
Oh, we're back in?
all right.
Sheesh.
Yep.
All right.
I taught him the Ponziani, which is pushing the c3 pawn after e4. Oh, never mind.
Okay,
can't play
Ludwig
it.
does play the Scandinavian. I think Levy may have helped him with this. I don't know. He's had a lot of coaches and he does a lot of the work himself.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to
Never
Fundy
know how to
for
deal
him
with
to
that.
play what we prepared him. So he's not prepared for this opening. Let's
But
see
that's
how he
okay
does.
because this is not a sharp opening, right? You just trade everything
Yeah.
off and you have a big center. So Fundy should not be scared of openings here. It's just going to go to them playing chess. It's not a very theoretical line.
Fundy has extra time because Ludwig is a little bit stronger.
Mm-hmm.
We based this off of their last match where the score was like 7-12 and on the rating.
Yep. So this is actually very even. They drew the first game. And today we wanted to make it fun, make sure it's actually competitive and both players have a pretty even chance of winning. It is a $5,000 prize for the winner, or
Which will be
1,000
paid
subs.
after the stream.
Because, well, it looks, PayPal keeps being like, this is suspicious activity. I'm like, yeah, I know, I'm a suspicious lady.
Don't mind us.
It just, they don't want us getting scammed. So yeah, we're going to pay them
Alex,
out
did I
after.
cure your hiccups? I didn't I?
No, they stopped regardless.
No, they would have came back if you didn't use my
You
stuff.
feel
Say.
proud?
All right, I'm very proud.
Good job.
That was my
Andrea.
one addition for the day.
You did fantastic.
Okay, so this looks about even to me. I mean, I like how Fundy is developing his pieces. He's really trying to control the center.
Mhm.
Knight in the center is very strong. It could be easily attacked by something like this. But now that he castled, he could use his rook to defend. So I'm pretty happy about this.
Yeah, Fundy is playing great.
Looks-
But this is actually very normal theory for the Scandinavian as well, because in the Scandinavian, you give up your center pawn, so you play a lot more solidly, but you have no weaknesses. It's just kind of passive. So Ludwig has played this very well. They are the 2 highest rated players in the entire tournament today. They've had the most experience playing chess, but again, they haven't been playing for more than a year and a half. So if you guys are watching, that should hopefully be encouraging. You can play this well in
And-
not that much time.
On the stream, we're currently showing the Minecraft server. If the spots aren't filled, you could join off of Twitter, off of Alexander Bota's Twitter account, where you can live spectate the games. They're being live broadcasted. The moves go on Minecraft.
Yeah, and if you guys are Minecraft fans and you ever want to host an event, we would definitely recommend working with Cosmic Guard. They helped us set up the entire thing. They've been incredible partners. So do check them out if you're trying to do any really cool Minecraft events.
All right. Sorry, got a little bit of the sniffles today. All right.
A lot
I'm
of
good.
sniffling there. Okay, so Andrea, what do we think of what Ludwig is doing here? What is he trying to go for?
I mean, the queen on this diagonal, it is a strong diagonal, but I have to say, I kind of prefer Fundy's position because this queen, I mean, he's currently attacking the bishop. So first he has to deal with this threat, maybe defend with the queen, maybe retreat. Both are good. But his control over the d5 square is what I really like, and e5 as well.
And the other thing is he had to move his queen off of this diagonal so that he could eventually bring out his bishop. Ludwig is playing the Scandinavian very well, and he just
As his
castled
Coach
on-
in the chat just repeated as well. Robert Hess.
Awesome. And he castled queenside while Fundy castled kingside. So what this means is they have their kings on opposite sides of the board, which usually makes it really fun because then Ludwig can start pushing his pawns towards Fundy and Fundy can start pushing his pawns towards Ludwig. You always have way more interesting games when they're not symmetrical.
I've seen this question a few times in the chat. Mods, could we have a poll for who has better hair, Fundy or Ludwig?
No. Let's not get them in that situation.
Why? I want to know what
They both
what?
have fantastic
But it
hair.
must be
No,
settled.
we're not commenting on our lovely
I want to
participants'
know.
appearances. They are
Everyone's
both great.
asking.
Nobody's
We need to
asking.
know.
Stop it, Andrea.
It's a hair
They both
tournament.
have fantastic hair. Leave them
Okay,
alone.
but who has better hair?
It's
Come
not
on.
a competition. No.
And I can be the third option as well.
mods. No,
Let's do the poll chat. We want to
don't.
know.
No. Okay.
All right.
So, still very even. Both sides have chances. Ludwig was able to develop his bishop. Again, his pawns haven't gone past the 6th rank, whereas Fundy has more control over the center, but he still has to be careful and he has to get his bishop out at some point.
Well, Alex, this is a little bit of a tricky position, right?
Mhm.
Because Ludwig just threatens to take the knight. If the pawn takes, the queen will take.
Yep.
And if he defends with the bishop, then he will be giving this pawn. So I think that's why Fundy is slowing down right now. He doesn't know how to defend his knights. What would
That-
you suggest he
That
does?
is a great suggestion, a great observation. Ooh.
I would have suggested
Oh,
retreating
he
the
gave
knight,
the
but he didn't take the pawn. Oh, wow. The eval bar has just risen to the ceiling because the bishop's hanging on b4.
Oh no, Ludwig dropped a piece.
Ludwig dropped the bishop.
Ludwig dropped a piece.
Oh,
That
look
is
at Ludwig's
brutal.
face. Never mind, don't do the
that
poll
was,
chat.
that was the wrong way, man.
Yeah, I did it in the
But-
wrong order.
But this is tricky. I mean, he dropped a piece, but
Mhm.
of course, white has up material. But if Fundy isn't careful, he could fall for some potential checkmate threat on g2. So there's still some threats for black.
Yeah, no. Oh, and now he can try to take this
No, it's
pawn
not that
too. It
good either.
is an extra pawn. So,
Oh.
okay.
That was also
The
stupid.
computer is
I'm
really
throwing here.
upset because that was a free piece. Oh no. Okay, so Ludwig just blundered 2 pieces. It looks like Fundy is gonna take this home. But his king is still out in the open.
We
so-
can give the time odds back now. Just kidding. Well, I mean, still though, I mean, he is on material, but I think they're gonna play down to the last minute. I wouldn't call anyone's game just yet.
look, this is going to be tricky. Ludwig is now in a desperate position where he's down 2 bishes.
He's trying to eye some checks at the king. I think he's threatening the h2 pawn. I mean, his only counterplay right now is the fact that the white king is very exposed, which actually isn't too easy for white to defend. If the king runs to the e-file, the rook will come in. So Fundy has to play very carefully and take his time.
Right. So what Ludwig wants to do is even if he can get a draw, so you can get a draw by repeating the position because basically it can repeat infinite times. So both players agree for a draw. If he somehow cut off the escape route for the king and got the white king in check, Ludwig could save this position and go to the blitz tiebreak, which would be a really big save on his part. At least he's putting Fundy under pressure. The game is not over yet, and we have to give Ludwig all the respect he deserves here for continuing to fight. Okay, so a nice
Forcing
check.
check.
Pretty easy to just run
This
away
is
from it.
actually a very good defense because now if the queen tries to come in,
Yep.
we can always use the queen to defend the holes, covering this h1 square.
Yeah, so it is both an aggressive move and a defensive move. Whenever you have a move that does more than one thing at once, you know that's going to be extremely helpful. Ooh, all right.
Fundy's defending very well, and the time is now even. So
Yeah, I mean, Ludwig did have a tough start to this position. Rook d1. Okay, so this is going to give Ludwig some chances. I guess he should maybe just grab the pawn, or you can try here again. Both moves are still winning for Fundy, but what you try to do when you're down material is just keep it as tricky as possible.
try to trade no pieces if possible, but it's hard because Fundy is coming in with the attacks. He's threatening the d5 pawn right now, and if he tries to defend like this, he's opening up his king. So it's very tricky.
And we have to, once again, give Ludwig some credit here too. He was a good sport. He was down to try time odds. He wanted to keep it fair. You know, Ludwig's one of the most fair streamers here on Twitch. So a lot of support and respect for both of the players.
Yeah, no, really. Ludwig, I switched up his opponent so many times and he just kept responding with Y-E, yeah, to everything. So shout out to Ludwig for being a trooper and a great sport.
The MVP.
He's just saying yes to
Honestly, the
everyone. Like, hey,
MVP.
Ludwig, we're going to switch your opponent for the third time and your match time.
I'm so sorry. He's just great human beings all
Yeah,
around.
for Ludwig in the chat, please. All right.
Okay.
So he defended his pawn. Wow. Dude, Fundy is attacking like a monster, but this is a good opportunity for him to finally bring his rook to the e-file. Unfortunately, we won't be able to push the king there, though, because the white queen will be defending and he checks.
Yeah, so has to move the rook away. I do like the idea of rook e8, and the reason for that is maybe he gets some tricks where he checks the king and Fundy forgets to block with the queen, puts his king on e2, blocks his rook, and gives up the bishop. Again, just have to try to be tricky. Just have to try to be tricky.
Like I said, if we do go for this, there's just queen here, so it doesn't work, right?
Yeah. You guys, Punz was also a good sport. We have a lot of good sports here today. And you know what? This event would not have been possible without amazing creators. Oh, free bishop!
Wait, yeah, I didn't even realize.
Oh my God, take it. Ludwig needs to see this. He has to take the free bishop. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why
he
I
has
did that.
chances, you guys. He has
Thank God I
chances.
saw it.
Sheesh.
He's
that's not good at
recovered.
all.
He's only down a piece now. Actually, he has two pawns
Man,
for the
yeah, I
bishop.
did not catch
This is
that.
even once again. Good
For
job.
some reason,
Just
the
threw it out of
eval
the way.
bar is saying +3 for white, but material-wise, he's only down a pawn, no?
No. Well, I mean, he's probably he
Oh,
might
he's
be
gonna
able
lose
to
his
lose it,
G-pawn.
and it's +3 because Andrea, that was a great observation. So to explain it to the audience, usually having a bishop is better, even if he somehow. So he has 2 pawns, so technically, point value is only up 1. But having a bishop is so much better because you're more likely to win the pawns back. So even if it was 3 pawns versus a bishop, it's not actually 3 points versus 3. It's usually always advantageous to the side who has a piece because pawns are more likely to fall.
And also, I think Fundy could just take this pawn, which would leave 2 isolated weaknesses. So these pawn advantages won't last very long. But it's tricky, though, because this is also hanging.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
But then
tricky
he can force a
position.
queen trade,
And
which he does right away.
And Ludwig is also back on top with the time situation here. So he's recovered on time and he's recovered on the board. This could be anyone's game. And I love that we have the Minecraft set up over there too. Right now we removed everybody who's watching, but just a reminder, if you guys want to watch the games in Minecraft and be able to interact with other viewers, you can join the Minecraft server. It is blockbattles.envy.gg. Shout out again to Cosmic Guard and Envy for helping us do this. The moves are going to be there in real time, so you can actually hop on the board too and see it happen. All right, well, let's go back to the game. So still waiting for them.
I like what Fundy's doing here. So like Alex said, Fundy still has the superior position, the bishop versus the 2 pawns. By forcing the queen trade and trying to simplify, he can play how he did last game, and he'll be able to maybe activate his king, maybe bring in the bishop, use the rook to attack the pawn. So trying to trade queens going to the end game is going to go into Fundy's favor, and Ludwig has to trade the queens. He has
So
no choice.
Ludwig should bring his king, because if you're forced to trade, you at least want to get your king as active. If you guys have been watching this and you take away anything from end games, it is activate your king. Your king is a very important piece. You don't want to take the queen because then you also fix the pawn structure for Fundy.
Yep.
He's going to have 2 connected pawns instead of, 2 little single lonely pawns who can just wave at each other from across the street, but never quite hold hands. Honestly, a really
King
sad
C7.
story.
Ooh.
Okay.
Rook E1.
He's keeping the queen on the board. I respect that.
But this
I like
is
that.
this is still
Yes, she should take with
this
the pawn
helped
here.
white more though. Because if he takes with a pawn, then white could just take here. Because black can no longer take this pawn.
But I still respect it because when you have a queen on the board, you have more chances for attack. So I think Ludwig is just trying to figure out, I might be down a couple pawns. This bishop is trapped. Maybe he'll try to trap it. The king
Ooh.
has an escape square.
Fundy is coming for the pawns.
Yeah, I don't even know how Ludwig should play this.
It'd be very interesting.
I would try to push this, hope that Fundy takes the pawn, and then end up trapping the bishop. This seems like his best attempt here. So if I see c5 from Ludwig here, going for that nasty trap, I'll be very, very impressed.
Are the hiccups coming back? Do you need my straw again?
No, I think I'm okay.
Let me know if you need my straw, Alex. It's ready. I can cure your
Dude,
hiccups.
there's brown on the straw. I never want to look at that.
Oh,
Dude, you just leaked the straw.
Okay, never mind. Where were we? So I would say if you were black, Alex, would you want to avoid a queen trade here?
Of course, but if I were black, I would go for tricks. C5 is the only trick. This bishop doesn't have any square other than A4 to go to now. So if you can somehow push the bishop away, you have a chance, and that is your best chance to try to draw this. There's no way white can trade queens right away. Your king has an escape square. Ludwig is taking his time here, which is very smart. This is a good position to try to take your time, come up with a plan first, and then just, you know, start playing the moves a little bit faster.
Well, what I was going to say is if we do end up in an endgame where the queens are traded, I think Ludwig would have slightly better chances because here with the more pieces on the board, white will just continue to sweep up the pawns.
For sure. You don't want to keep, well, no, I would say you have to keep the queens on the board because otherwise Fundy's just up a piece.
That's
oh, sorry. I was looking at the position at the same time. My bad. Okay, so Ludwig finds some checks. Fundy defends.
So he's trying to trade the queen here.
Okay.
Which is exactly what Ludwig has to avoid.
Run away, Ludwig. Don't give your queen. Don't give your queen.
But it's hard because now, I mean, Fundy has just gained so much material. He's just up a full bishop now. He's no longer Ludwig has the 2 extra pawns, but he is running with his queen as he should do.
Great job, Ludwig. Okay, so queen is on a5. The difficulty here is now Ludwig is down on time. He's down a bishop.
Yeah, all Fundy has to do is push the passer.
pawn.
Ooh, Ludwig is trying to be tricky. He's trying to threaten this fork, but while doing that, he just blundered the pawn, but Fundy didn't take the pawn.
Check. Queen b5 check and push the pawn.
Oh,
if you would have done check, then he could have almost won the bishop. But
but he's trapping the bishop, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because the H pawn is too advanced and black can't stop it.
So the way you would consider it is this is the square. He's not gonna be
Wow,
able
look
to
at
catch
Fundy.
it.
Oh my
Fundy,
goodness.
Beast mode
Oh,
in
look
here.
at Ludwig's face. He's doing a little piggy nose.
Oh, you know what? This was a tough. Ludwig just had a bad game. He blundered more than he usually
Where's
does.
that endgame manual, Ludwig, when you need it? Come on, he always has it on his.
But he tried. He really tried his best. I kind of hope there's a stalemate because I'd love to see the blitz.
I think Fundy
finale
has
of
too
this.
much time, but that would be very entertaining. That was really tricky, though. I mean, Ludwig just got distracted by the juicy looking bishop.
Mhm.
Endgames are very important, but hey, there could be a rematch in PogChamps. These are 2 very strong competitors. PogChamps, which is coming up in the next few weeks. There'll be lots of huge creators like Mr. Beast playing El Rubius. A lot of
Ludwig,
people from
Fundy, Sapnap,
other
Connor Eats
Minecrafters.
Pants.
Nihachu, Justin Minx.
Well, Nihachu, is she playing?
There we go.
Wow, there we go. All right, guys.
GG,
Well,
brother.
Ah,
Hats
GG.
off. That was our Fundy tribute.
It really
for
came
being
down
such
to
a
just
good
like
sport.
the bad trade at some point in the middle game. That really is what made it.
Yeah. If I had an extra few minutes, I would say it would have been a little better.
Well, that sucks. Oh man, if only. If only.
All right, we'll take a break. Meanwhile, we'll show you guys a Minecraft server. We'll be back with
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
participants for an
bring them
interview.
on for a call. All right, let's bring them on. All right, we are back with Fundy and Ludwig. The score was 1.5 to Fundy, 0.5 to Ludwig. Ludwig, Fundy finally got his rematch after what happened the last time you guys went head to head. Fundy, you played really well. Ludwig, you had a rough second game. Are you feeling a little scammed with your 3 minutes right now, Ludwig?
August 8th. Keep that day in mind, chatters, because this is the new January 6th. They stormed up the chess capital and took everything away from me. 3 minutes of time. He's 64 points rated lower than me. He doesn't get a 3-minute advantage for that. You can do a little bit of math. I thought you were good at the game, Botezes. Or are you moved on to only playing hustlers who are 1700 rated? Christ, you lost all integrity. This tournament's a sham, and anyone who loves chess knows that.
Look, Ludwig, we may have done a little bit of scamaz there, but time odds would not change you dropping that
August
free bishop.
8th.
Yeah, man, it's really hard when you add 3 minutes and lose 2 pieces. We really should have done the calculations for that one. But we also had Magnus, I think, scare you off a little bit. So Fundy, you know, did have a few things going for him this game, but he also played incredibly well, right, Fundy?
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, like I think both of us played very well. It got so close to the point where I think like even a few minutes, hypothetically, if one of us were to have more minutes, it could have changed the complete outcome. But regardless of that, I think both of us played very well.
This is actually good because we actually played, if chat doesn't know, like a month ago, and Fundy lost, and we made a bet. And the bet was that I could put any 1 minute segment into his YouTube video I want. I could say anything I wanted.
I don't know.
And I wasn't gonna cash it in. I wasn't. I'm a nice guy. I wasn't gonna do it.
I think it's time.
But I think it's time, Fundy, for a full minute on how Dreams balled.
No.
On how he cheated all his speed runs. All right, I'm getting you out of the DreamSMP, King. Give me 60 seconds. The last 5 is just a shout out, Magnus. Motherfucker, welcome to the big leagues now.
Fundy, I mean, a deal is a deal. You did agree to giving him a 60-minute segment.
We could discuss it like behind this.
Deal's a deal.
We could just talk about this like when the stream's off though. We could
deal.
Oh God, I didn't realize we
Reminds me
paired
of Rumble
Fundy
versus
versus
Kid.
Satan.
Come on. It's gonna be like a you want subs? What do you want? Like just
You
not.
want to pay him off, Fundy?
Well, listen,
Can't
I don't
buy
want
me off this rage.
Well, we have a new villain in town. Who knew Chess would have brought him out?
Yeah. So the
Change
more
of heart
chess
rules.
plays, the more evil Ludwig gets. We don't make the rules. This is just
By
what happens.
PogChamps, who knows what he'll be up to? He'll be unstoppable.
Oh God.
with Punch. I'm not
8-8.
playing against Ludwig, am I?
Never
I
forget.
mean, anything could happen. 8-8, August 8th, never forget.
Well, you could change it if that were to be like it's just it doesn't. We
It'll
don't
be
have
in
to.
the hands of the
I know. I don't think you guys are going to get paired against each other right away in PogChamps, but if you're both doing well, and I think you're both going to end up in the championship bracket just based on your performance, you might end up butting heads at some point. But we'll see if we can get you on opposite
So you're
ends of the
telling me if
bracket.
I lose on purpose, I can prevent
Well,
that?
Well, Ludwig may have some experience with that from PogChamps.
You're talking to the throw master, okay?
No.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you guys will both lose on purpose and still get paired. Who knows?
But on a serious note, Ludwig, you've come so far from the first PogChamps. You've really been trekking up your chess journey. That's
I
why you were the
lost.
favorite here.
I lost.
We're just trying
Yup.
to soothe your rage, Satan. It'll be
Look,
okay.
Magnus
did.
is still your friend. You're still the winner at the end of the
That's
day.
true. That's
Well,
true.
maybe we'll see
So
what he
true.
says after that play.
He might like Fundy more now. You
Yeah.
may have.
They are
I
closer
can
to each
bet
other.
a lot on
If
that. I can
Magnus
bet a
liked
lot
me
on
for
that.
my chess skill, then our friendship was a scam from the start.
That's fair. Well, Fundy, Ludwig, thank you guys so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. Fundy, congratulations. You won 5K or 1,000 subs. We'll message you after the tournament to work that out. And Ludwig, you won
Don't get
0
too
subs,
excited.
but you're
Her
rich.
card got declined, bro.
We will be
spending
paying
too
them out.
much.
Listen,
Gucci, Prada in New York.
these subs will pay up for the retention drop I'm gonna have in the video that you feature in. So it'll probably be fine.
That is
It'll
fair.
probably even out.
Yeah, we'll make amends, and we will be paying them out tomorrow. No worries. Thank you guys so much for being great sports. Fundy, I'd watch out, and I'm looking forward to seeing the YouTube video.
Yeah, really excited to you getting
I
kicked
am
out of the
not.
Dream
Why?
SMP.
Why would you be looking out for that? Why would anyone be looking? That's gonna be okay. All right.
They're
Bye.
just
All right. Bye, you guys. Bye, Fundy. Bye, Ludwig. Thanks so much to both of you.